Sister wives, Kody and Robyn, get emotional over starting over after split drama. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia, and I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. For more than a decade, Sister Wives has captured the triumphs, heartbreaks, and emotional storms of Kody Brown and his plural family. But after years of turbulence, public fallout, and the devastating collapse of multiple marriages, the story has reached an unexpected chapter, one filled with raw emotion, guilt, and the haunting realization that starting over isn't as simple as moving on. As the cameras roll into season 19, Kody and Robyn Brown stand as the last couple left standing, emotionally battered, isolated from most of their family, and uncertain about what the future holds. Once seen as the perfect team, Kody and Robyn now find themselves struggling to redefine what their marriage and life look like after the dramatic family split that tore the Browns apart. A family in ruins. Dream of a united plural family is over. Kody, Janelle, and Meri have all left the marriage, each walking away with her own story of betrayal, exhaustion, and survival. What was once a family of 23, bound by faith and shared dreams of celestial unity, now feels like scattered fragments of a once grand vision, and no one feels that loss more acutely than Kody and Robyn. Sometimes, it feels like we're ghosts in a house that used to be full of life, Robyn confesses in one emotional confessional. There was laughter, dinners, family nights. Now it's just silence. Her eyes glisten as she pauses, struggling to hold back tears. Kody, sitting beside her, looks down, his jaw tight, his expression unreadable. I thought we'd be stronger together, Kody admits. But now I feel like I'm walking through the ashes of everything I tried to build. And I don't even know what's left. The aftermath of the split. The aftermath of the split has been brutal. Kody's relationships with most of his adult children are strained or non-existent. Janelle's boys, especially Garrison and Gabe, have cut off nearly all contact with him after years of tension. Kody has moved on completely, marrying David Woolley and embracing a life of peace away from polygamy. Meri, meanwhile, has focused on rediscovering her independence after years of emotional neglect. Robyn, once seen as Kody's emotional anchor, now feels the crushing weight of being the last wife, the only one left to carry the emotional baggage of the entire family's collapse. I didn't sign up for this version of our lives, she says, her voice trembling. We were supposed to build a family, not watch it fall apart piece by piece. Rebuilding amid regret, for the first time in Sister Wives history, viewers are seeing Kody and Robyn stripped of their confidence. Gone are the days when Kody's fiery speeches about leadership and destiny filled the screen. What remains now is a man grappling with loss, loneliness, and guilt. Maybe I was too proud, Kody admits in one candid interview. I wanted to prove to everyone, to the world, to my family, that plural marriage worked. But somewhere along the way, I stopped listening. Robyn nods beside him, her hands clasped tightly. We both made mistakes. I thought love could fix everything. I thought if I just held on long enough, everyone would see what I saw in him. The good man, the father, the dreamer. But maybe we all got lost in the dream. For the couple, starting over isn't just about their marriage. It's about learning to live with the silence that now fills their once bustling home, about finding faith in a life that looks nothing like the one they envisioned on Sister Wives' early seasons. Isolation in Flagstaff. In their sprawling Flagstaff home, Kody and Robyn's world feels increasingly small. Once a place where kids ran through the halls and holidays brought everyone together, it now feels eerily quiet. Sometimes I just sit in the living room and wait for someone to walk in, Robyn says softly. I'll hear a door creak and think maybe it's one of the kids coming to visit. But it's just the wind. Kody, visibly pained, adds, We're not supposed to be alone. That was never the plan. The family was the plan. The loneliness, coupled with guilt, has left both of them questioning their role in the family's destruction. Many fans, and even the ex-wives, have accused Robyn of breaking the family apart, but Robyn insists it wasn't that simple. I didn't steal anyone's husband, she says. They were all already pulling away. I just wanted to hold everyone together. I thought love could heal it. I was wrong. Kody's emotional breakdown. For perhaps the first time in the show's long history, viewers witness Kody Brown break. Truly break. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Kody admits that his vision of plural marriage has failed, and he no longer recognizes the man he once was. I used to believe I was the patriarch, the protector, the leader, he confides, voice shaking. But what am I leading now? Who am I protecting? Everyone's gone. Tears well up in his eyes, a raw, unfiltered moment that shocks even longtime fans who are used to seeing Kody's bravado and defensiveness. I don't know how to start over, he whispers. I don't even know where to begin. A marriage-tested Kody and Robyn's relationship has also been under immense strain. The emotional weight of being the last wife standing has taken its toll. Robyn has expressed feeling isolated not just from the other wives, but from the extended family as well. There's this idea that because I'm the last one, I've won, she says bitterly. But how is this winning? I lost my sister wives, my kids lost their siblings, and my husband lost his family. There's no victory in that. The couple's once passionate connection has been replaced by cautious coexistence. Two people bound by love, guilt, and shared memories of what used to be. Still, despite the pain, Robyn refuses to give up. We have to rebuild. Even if it's just the two of us, we have to find a way to make it mean something again. Looking toward redemption. In the quiet aftermath of so much loss, Kody and Robyn are beginning to rediscover what brought them together in the first place. Faith, family, and the belief that love, even when fractured, can still heal. Robyn shares a glimmer of hope. I think God's still working on us. Maybe this isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning of something we just don't understand yet. Kody nods, his voice low. I can't change the past, but I can try to be better tomorrow. That's all I can do. As season 19 continues, their story is less about plural marriage and more about survival, emotional, spiritual, and personal. The Browns may never return to what they once were, but for Kody and Robyn, the journey of starting over has just begun. When the Sister Wives family first began their journey on TLC, Kody Brown's dream was simple: to prove that love could exist in a plural marriage built on faith, trust, and unity. But as the years unfolded, that dream slowly crumbled under the weight of jealousy, shifting loyalties, and emotional exhaustion. Now, with only Robyn left by his side, Kody finds himself haunted not just by the family's collapse, but by the wave of public backlash that followed. The court of public opinion, in the wake of the family's separation, social media became an open courtroom where viewers eagerly took sides. Hashtags like Justice for Christine, Shasti Team Janelle, and Chaski Free Meri trended for weeks after each wife announced her departure. Kody, once seen as the charming, enthusiastic patriarch of a large and loving family, suddenly became the villain in his own story. People think they know me because they've watched me for years, Kody says during one of the more emotional moments of the season. But they only see fragments, the edited parts, the moments when I lose my temper. They don't see the sleepless nights, the prayers, the tears. They don't see the man who's still trying. Robyn nods quietly beside him, her eyes distant. He's not perfect, she admits, but neither are any of us. Everyone wants to blame someone. It's easier that way. But fans weren't just angry at Kody. Many turned their frustration toward Robyn, labeling her the homewrecker and the favorite who destroyed the delicate balance of plural life. I've been called everything you can imagine, Robyn confesses tearfully. Manipulator, gold digger, snake. People say I wanted this, to be the only one left. But that's not true. I never wanted to be alone. Kody's crisis of faith behind the scenes. The emotional toll of losing 3 marriages has pushed Kody into what he now calls a spiritual crisis. I used to think God had a plan for me, Kody admits. That he chose me to lead a plural family, to be an example. But now I don't know if I misunderstood everything. For Kody, The collapse of his family has forced him to confront painful questions about his identity, his faith, and the very foundation of polygamy. What if I wasn't meant to live plural marriage anymore? He wonders aloud. What if that season of my life is over, and I just couldn't let go? Robyn looks at him, visibly shaken by the honesty of his words. That's the part that scares me, she says. Because if he questions that, what happens to us? The couple's faith, once the unshakable core of their family, now feels fractured. They pray together, but even those prayers carry uncertainty. I ask God every day, what do you want from us now? Robyn says softly, and sometimes I don't hear an answer. The emotional distance. Despite their attempts to find solace in each other, Kody and Robyn's relationship has clearly changed. The weight of everything, the criticism, the isolation, the loss, has created a quiet distance between them. They sit in the same room, but don't talk much. The Brown family once dreamed of building a sprawling compound on Coyote Pass, a place where laughter would echo across the open land, where their children would raise families of their own, and where love would bind them all together under one roof. Today, that dream feels like a distant echo. What remains instead is a house full of ghosts, memories that haunt every room, and emotions that linger long after everyone else has left. For Kody and Robyn Brown, life in Flagstaff has become a haunting reflection of what used to be. Their once bustling home now feels too large, too quiet, and far too heavy with unspoken grief. Empty rooms, full hearts. The silence in the Brown household is almost deafening. There was a time when I couldn't walk through the house without tripping over a toy, hearing someone laughing, or seeing one of the older kids come in for dinner, Robyn recalls softly. Now, I can go hours without hearing a single sound. She pauses, her eyes glistening as she looks around the living room during her confessional. I still keep the family photos up, she says. All of them, Christine, Janelle, Meri, all the kids. Because I can't stand the idea of pretending they were never here. But those pictures, once a source of pride, now serve as painful reminders of everything. That's been lost. Sometimes I walk past the pictures and I swear I hear their voices, she adds, like echoes. Kody's face hardens when asked about the photos. I don't like looking at them, he admits. They remind me of all the times I failed. Robyn's loneliness. Despite being the last wife standing, Robyn's life is lonelier than it has ever been. People assume that because I'm still with Kody, I got what I wanted, she says, her voice trembling. But what did I get? A broken family? A husband who's drowning in guilt? I didn't win anything. Her isolation extends beyond her marriage. Many of the children from the other wives have grown distant, some refusing to visit at all. The once close-knit sisterhood she shared with Christine, Janelle, and Meri has vanished entirely. I used to have someone to talk to, she says. If I was upset or scared, I could call one of my sister wives. Now there's no one. Even simple moments, grocery shopping, going to church, celebrating birthdays, have become painful reminders that the world she once knew is gone. There's this emptiness that follows me everywhere, she says through tears. I've tried to fill it with faith, with gratitude, with hope. But sometimes it's just too much. Kody's breaking point. While Robyn wrestles with loneliness, Kody is fighting demons of his own. I've tried to hold it together, Kody confides in one of the show's most emotional scenes. But some days I can't even get out of bed. I feel like I've lost everything that mattered. The once proud patriarch, known for his fiery confidence, now appears weary and hollow. His energy is gone. His optimism has faded, and the light that once defined his presence has dimmed into something dark and uncertain. I built my entire identity around being a husband and a father to this big, beautiful family, he says, his voice cracking. Now I don't even know who I am. His outbursts, once defensive and passionate, have turned into deep expressions of grief. Cameras capture moments of Kody pacing alone on the porch, staring out at the snow-covered Coyote Pass, muttering under his breath. I keep asking God, why? He says to himself. Why did you let it all fall apart? The night of the confession one evening, as the cameras continue to roll, Kody finally breaks down completely. "I'm done pretending I'm okay," he says during a late-night confessional, his voice shaking. "Everyone thinks I wanted this, that I wanted to push them away. But that's not true. I just didn't know how to hold them anymore." He begins to cry, not the defensive tears viewers have seen before, but deep, uncontrollable sobs that fill the quiet of the room. "I loved them," he says, almost whispering. "All of them. Even when I was angry. Even when I said things I shouldn't have. I loved my family, and now it's gone." Robyn, watching from the sidelines, rushes over and wraps her arms around him. "You're not alone," she whispers. "We still have each other," but even as she says the words, her face betrays the fear that maybe, just maybe, love won't be enough this time. The weight of regret for both Kody and Robyn, regret has become a constant companion. Every argument, every moment of pride, every decision that led them here plays on repeat in their minds. "There were so many moments when I could have chosen kindness instead of control," Kody admits. "But I didn't. I thought being a leader meant being firm. I thought I was protecting my family, but I was pushing them away." Robyn adds quietly, "We were all hurting, but no one stopped to say, 'Hey, we're breaking.' We just kept pushing forward like everything was fine. And by the time we realized it wasn't, it was too late." Both of them have begun therapy, trying to navigate the aftermath of years of dysfunction. "We're learning how to communicate again," Robyn explains. "Not as husband and wife in a plural marriage, but just as two people trying to understand each other, haunted by the children. The emotional fallout has extended deeply into their relationships with the children. Kody's estrangement from several of his older kids, particularly Janelle's sons, Garrison and Gabe, continues to weigh heavily on him. "I miss my boys," he admits, wiping his eyes. "I miss their jokes, their energy, their loyalty. And now, I don't even know if they'll ever speak to me again." Robyn, meanwhile, has been quietly trying to reach out to some of the children, hoping to rebuild at least a sliver of connection. "I sent Christmas gifts, messages, birthday cards," she says. "Sometimes they respond. Most of the time they don't. But I can't stop trying." Her greatest fear is that their children will grow up carrying bitterness and resentment toward their father. "They need to know that he's not a monster," she insists. "He's a man who made mistakes, but he's still their dad." The ghosts of Coyote Pass. Every episode this season seems to return to Coyote Pass, the barren, snow-dusted land that was once meant to symbolize the family's future. Standing there now, Kody and Robyn can barely speak as they look out across the untouched fields. "This was supposed to be our legacy," Kody says quietly, "a place where the family could grow, where our kids could come home. But now it's just dirt and dreams." Robyn reaches for his hand, but he doesn't take it. "Maybe it's not over," she offers. "Maybe one day they'll all come back." Kody shakes his head. "No," he says. "They're gone. They've moved on. And I need to accept that." The scene ends with the two standing in silence, the wind blowing through the empty land, a visual metaphor for everything they've lost and everything they still have left to first a fragile piece despite the overwhelming grief. There are fleeting moments of hope, quiet, tender moments that remind viewers that love, even when shattered, can still find small ways to survive. One morning, Robyn is seen cooking breakfast as the sunlight spills through the windows. Kody walks in looking tired but calm. For the first time in weeks, he smiles. "Smells good," he says softly. Robyn smiles back. "It's your favorite," she replies. For a brief moment, the tension lifts. They eat together in silence. No cameras, no drama, just two people trying to start over. "I think," Robyn says finally, "we're still learning how to be together in this new life. It's hard, but maybe that's okay." The more the dust settles on the remains of the Brown family, the clearer it becomes that what was lost cannot easily be rebuilt. Kody Brown, once the commanding patriarch of 4 wives and 18 children, now faces a truth he spent years avoiding: Redemption cannot be demanded. It must be earned. In the months following the family split, Kody has been forced to confront not only the ruins of his marriages, but the very foundation of who he is as a husband, father, and man. Season 19 of Sister Wives has slowly transformed from a story of polygamy and unity into a raw journey of repentance, faith, and self-reflection. And at the heart of that journey lies a single question: can the family ever heal? Kody's awakening. For most of his adult life, Kody Brown lived with a sense of divine purpose. He believed his plural family was a calling, a sacred design meant to show the world that love could exist in abundance. But as the marriages crumbled one by one, that purpose shattered, leaving behind a man who no longer recognized himself. "I used to think I was doing God's work," Kody confesses during one of the season's most somber interviews. "Now I'm starting to wonder if I was just doing my work, if I was building something for myself instead of for him." The admission is heavy, especially for a man who once saw himself as a spiritual leader. Kody continues, his eyes clouded with guilt. "I preached about unity, but I didn't practice it. I talked about love, but I gave my attention to one wife. I said I wanted to be fair, but my actions proved otherwise." It's a confession years in the making, one that fans never expected to hear. For the first time, Kody isn't blaming Christine, Janelle, or Meri. He's blaming himself. Robyn's painful patience as Kody wrestles with his identity. Robyn has become both caretaker and casualty of his emotional breakdown. "I love him," she says softly in her confessional, "but it's hard to love someone who's constantly punishing themselves. He's so wrapped up in guilt that sometimes I feel invisible." Robyn admits that she's had to walk on emotional eggshells, choosing her words carefully, avoiding confrontation, and giving Kody space when he retreats into silence. "I see him pacing around the house, lost in thought," she says. "I'll ask if—" The walls of the once bustling Flagstaff home now echo with silence. Where laughter, footsteps, and the sound of family dinners once filled the air, there's now only the hum of the refrigerator and the soft ticking of the clock in the living room. For Kody and Robyn Brown, this quiet has become both their punishment and their teacher. As the last remaining couple of the Sister Wives family, they've had to confront more than loneliness. They've had to face themselves. And what they've found isn't just regret or sorrow, but the fragile beginnings of something neither expected: clarity. A home that feels haunted. Robyn walks through the house every morning, turning on lights in empty rooms as though trying to chase away ghosts. Each space holds a memory: one of the children's laughter, Janelle's calm voice, Meri's sharp humor, or Christine's endless optimism. "This house feels too big for us now," Robyn says quietly. "It used to feel like a blessing, now it just reminds me of what we've lost." The family photos still line the staircase, smiling faces of kids who no longer visit, wives who've moved on. Kody can't bring himself to take them down. "I know people think I should just move on," Kody says, his voice thick with emotion. "But these faces are my life. They're my mistakes, my memories, my family. How do you erase that?" Kody's late-night reflections. Kody spends most nights awake, sitting on the porch, staring at the vast Flagstaff sky. The same man who once dreamed of building multiple houses on Coyote Pass now feels paralyzed at the thought of building anything again. "I thought we were creating something eternal," he admits. "A family that would stand the test of time, a testament to faith and unity. But now I realize I was forcing something that wasn't working anymore." He pauses, then adds, "You can't make people stay in a dream that's turned into a nightmare." For years, fans watched Kody defend his leadership, often blaming others for the family's unraveling. But these days, his tone is softer, his words heavier. "I hurt people I loved. I didn't listen when they told me they were breaking. And by the time I tried to fix it, it was already too late." Robyn's emotional confession, Robyn, too, has been reflecting on her role, her choices, and the image the public has painted of her. "I know I'm seen as the villain," she says tearfully, The woman who came in and destroyed everything. But I swear that was never my heart. I loved those women. I loved their kids. I wanted to belong to something beautiful. She wipes her tears, shaking her head. But maybe my presence just made the cracks deeper. Maybe my love for Kody was too much for the others to handle. And now I carry that guilt every single day. Even as she defends her intentions, there's a tone of acceptance in her voice, a quiet understanding that some wounds can't be undone. I think part of me is still waiting for the day we'll all sit down and talk again, she admits. No cameras, no bitterness. Just family. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I pray for it every night. The weight of being the last one standing. Being the only wife left isn't a victory. It's a burden. There are days I wake up and feel like I lost too, Robyn says softly. People think because I'm still married, I've won. But what did I win? I lost my sister wives, my friends, the family we dreamed of. I lost the sense of belonging. Her words cut deep. A confession that dismantles the long-standing perception of Robyn as the favorite. Kody, sitting beside her during a joint interview, nods slowly. She didn't ask for this. She didn't want this version of our life. I brought her into something that was already falling apart, and now she's left to pick up the pieces with me. He reaches for her hand. Their fingers interlocking, a quiet moment of connection that feels both tender and tragic. The public's harsh judgment online, fans have been divided. Some have expressed empathy, saying Kody and Robyn are simply human, flawed, emotional, and lost in the chaos of a public breakup. Others have been less forgiving, accusing them of hypocrisy, manipulation, and selfishness. People think we're heartless, Kody says, his expression hardening. But they don't know what it's like to live under constant scrutiny, to have your faith, your love, your mistakes dissected for entertainment. Robyn adds, "We're not perfect, but we're trying to find peace in the middle of all this noise. That's all anyone can do." The couple has stopped reading online comments. Instead, they focus on therapy, their children, and small daily routines. Anything that brings a sense of normalcy back into their lives. "We're rebuilding," Robyn says. Not the big dream. Just the small things, cooking dinner together, watching a movie, laughing again. It's slow, but it's something. A visit to Coyote Pass and one emotional scene teased for later in Sister Wives Season 19. Kody and Robyn return to Coyote Pass, the land that was supposed to be their family's future. The vast, untouched property stretches out before them, quiet and empty. The once grand vision of 4 homes, one for each wife, is now a memory. Kody walks the dirt path, his boots kicking up dust. "This was supposed to be our forever," he murmurs. "Now it's just land." Robyn stands beside him, tears streaming down her cheeks. "It's not just land," she whispers. "It's a reminder of everything we tried to build. Everything we lost." They stand in silence, the wind carrying the ghosts of a dream that never came to life. A glimmer of hope, despite everything. There's still something unbreakable between Kody and Robyn, a stubborn belief that love, even wounded, can survive. "I don't know what tomorrow looks like," Kody says, "but I know I don't want to give up. Not on her. Not on myself." Robyn smiles faintly through her tears. "We've lost so much, but maybe that's what makes what's left even more important." For the first time in years, the two embrace without cameras capturing a performance. It's quiet, genuine, and deeply human. The new chapter begins. As the episode closes, viewers see Kody and Robyn sitting on their porch, watching the sunset. There's still pain, still tension, but also a quiet acceptance that the future will never look like the past. "We're not the family we used to be," Robyn says softly. "But maybe we're finally the people we were meant to become." Kody nods, his eyes distant but calm. Sometimes you have to lose everything to realize what really matters. The screen fades to black as the wind rustles through the trees. A haunting yet hopeful reminder that even after destruction, life goes on. While Kody and Robyn Brown struggle through the emotional aftermath of the family's collapse, the other sister wives, Christine and Janelle, have been watching from a distance, and their reactions are as sharp as they are honest. After years of silence and emotional turmoil, the two women who once stood beside Kody are no longer interested in sharing his pain. They've found peace, independence, and a sense of self-worth that no amount of Kody's televised regret can shake. But that doesn't mean they're without feelings, only that they've learned to channel them differently. Christine. They're living in the consequences they created. When Christine Brown left Kody, she didn't just leave a marriage, she walked away from an entire belief system. Her decision to marry David Woolley symbolized freedom, laughter, and the life she had long been denied. So when she sees Kody and Robyn crying about loneliness and heartbreak on Sister Wives Season 19, her reaction is surprisingly calm. "I don't take pleasure in their pain," Christine admits in a confessional. But they made their choices. They built that world, and now they're living in the consequences of it. Christine says she tried for years to make Kody see that the family dynamic was falling apart when that his favoritism and neglect were breaking the bonds between the wives and the children. He didn't want to hear it, she continues. Back then, it was all about Robyn. Everything was about making her happy. The rest of us were supposed to just deal with it. Now, from her cozy home in Utah, Christine watches with a mix of empathy and detachment. "I know what it feels like to cry yourself to sleep because you think your marriage is over," she says softly. "But I also know the power of walking away, and how peaceful life can be when you stop trying to fix something that's beyond saving." Janelle. I don't buy the tears anymore. Janelle Brown. The pragmatic and steady former wife is less forgiving, known for her quiet strength and logical approach to conflict. Janelle doesn't mince words when asked about Kody and Robyn's emotional breakdowns. "I don't buy the tears anymore," she says bluntly. "I think they're sad because they finally have to face reality. For years, they got to live in this bubble where everything revolved around them. Now that it's gone, they don't know who they are without the family." Her tone isn't bitter, just firm. Janelle has moved on, both emotionally and mentally. She's spending more time with her adult children and rebuilding her life on her own terms. "Kody always said he wanted to lead," she continues. "Well, leaders take responsibility, and I don't think he ever has. He wants sympathy now. But where was that sympathy when his kids were crying out for him? Where was it when we were struggling to hold everything together while he was off at Robyn's?" Her words carry years of quiet frustration, the kind that comes from being unheard for too long. The children speak out. The ripple effects of Kody and Robyn's isolation have reached the kids too. Many of Kody's adult children, particularly those from Janelle and Christine, have expressed little desire to reconcile. Gabe and Savannah have reportedly limited contact with their father, still angry over years of neglect. Mike Kelty and